Hey, Johnny. So I figured since he's live tonight and he's out, and I'm going to be sitting here doing this for a while, I figured I would go ahead and go live again so you guys could see what's going on. I figured Alex would, if he was available, would want to see his guitar getting worked on. Of course, I know a lot. And let's see if it works still. It's a continuity test. I don't know if you guys will be able to hear it, but when there's continuity that's 100%, buzz. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but listen. So, to make sure, so I got more to put in here. Here's a tip. If you buy copper tape for shielding, make sure the adhesive on the back is conductive. If not, and you put layer over layer, you're only going to have the top layer. So here's the big trick. Let's see if this is attached back here. There we go. 0. That's what you want. So yeah, if you're going to do conductive tape, or make sure it's the adhesive is also conductive. So we know we're good there. We got good continuity, front and back all together. Usually what happens when most people do this is they'll have it'll be conductive back here. And then one pickup slot will be conductive, but they won't run together. What I do is I take this little 1/4-inch tape or 3/8 tape, and I fold it like a V, and I run it through the holes where the wires go, here and here, and connect everything together. It just gives you a better overall chance of everything. I mean, they I get this tape off of Amazon actually, but there's all types. Just make sure the adhesive is conductive. Greasy. Now let me pull this out here so I can read all this as I'm doing. Ryan, hello, Ryan. Normally I wouldn't be doing this, but Johnny is at a show, or well, the door's open, he said, in 15 minutes. So I knew we weren't doing a Saturday night tonight. So I figured I would go live here because I got to work on this some more. And I figured, who knows? Maybe Alex would want to come and watch it get worked on. I just want to make sure that when you put this back here, that you get out anything that will touch this. Because if it touches that, it'll short it out. I mean, don't hurt it. It won't have any sound. You'll just hear a buzz. So I used to shield inside the slot here. And then when I put the red kind of curly top Jackson, when I put the Fishman's in it, I had that shielded. And when I put the Fisherman's in it, it worked. And you know, when you have active pickups, the battery only works when it's in. Well, I put new battery in it, tried it out, worked fine. Unplugged it, hanging on the wall. 2 days later, battery was dead. So what it ended up being is there was a little piece of this copper tape that was hanging down. Actually, it happened twice. I thought I got all of it out, but when the guitar was laying this way, I couldn't see at the very top here. So I took it all out, did it, but hey, it's working. 3 days later, battery was still working. So I hung it back up, waited a week, picked up, battery was dead. And I thought, are you kidding me? So I went right there first and looked, and sure as can be, there was a little tab that was down, that it was hitting on. It was barely hitting, but it was enough that it took a week to kill the battery instead of overnight like it was doing at first. So had lots of fun on Johnny's show last night. Talking guitar, good time. Always a good time with everybody there. I really, and I'm honest to God, I really do appreciate that. I sat here for 15 minutes. Yeah, it'll stop, Ryan. I'm not doing StreamYard. I don't know how to do that stuff. I'm just live on YouTube. So it buffered last time I did it for a while, and then it stopped. So just give it some time. That's all I can tell you, because I have no control over anything except I just hit the go live button. And again, I am not a seasoned veteran at any of this live stuff like Johnny is. I'm lucky. Well, what I'm saying is I sat here for 10, 15 minutes trying to go live on my damn phone, looking everywhere, couldn't find anything. And then couldn't find anything. And then I realized I had to go on the computer and go live on the computer, then jump in here on the other account. So but I wasted 10, 15 minutes trying to figure that out. So like I said, I am not savvy at that kind of stuff. So, wait a minute. Well, let me, you still here, Alex? Okay, I put green in here instead of black. Okay, now it's not going to show because, well, I mean, I can't really, because the wires are here, so I can't do nothing about that until I feed them through. But look what I did. So you notice how you got the run right down through there? I made it. I can't do it with the wires. Damn it. But as you see, when it's in place, that'll all fit. So I kind of did a splash on these like I did my my green alien or predator blood. Just trying to blend them in so the black didn't stand out, so wow, my video is like way behind. So the black didn't stand right now. It's on my screen. It's still showing me checking the continuity. Okay. I just kind of wanted to blend the black in with it. So I don't have a black tremolo. I have chrome. And again, this is for Alex. You can thank MPN for this. So I did order 2 new. Well, I don't know. I ordered them today because if I don't use them, I'll just keep them. But Alex, your advice, your guitar. You guys do a thing in the chat. Since these are black, stay with the black knobs, or go with the chrome knobs to match the tremolo. I ordered 2 chrome ones today. They'll be here Wednesday. So you guys tell me what you think. So, and this doesn't have clear. I was going to clear it today, Alex, but every time I got out there and got ready to mix the clear, it started clouding up. Then it started, as long as they're not green. You know, no, I don't have green ones. I put the green ones I had on my King V. And they kind of, yeah, look how much they matched. They weren't the metal ones. I had these ones on. So that yours will be glossy like this, and you're still going to feel the bumps. It's this Chris Holmes way, and that's why I did that this way. But it will be all cleared. Peggy's saying the black knobs. So black knob with the black, I put a black switch cap on. So I don't know if I have a. Oh, wait a minute. I think it's too big. No, not the same color green. Mr. Mick. Yeah, if it was the same color green, it might work, but I have 2. So that's a little thread. Yeah, those are both the big threads. So I could put a white cap on the switch, but I don't have the right size. So anyhow, that will give you an idea of what it's going to look like. All right. So I want you to see, this is going to be different than probably anything you've ever played before. Frets are so much better than they were. I mean, they're like brand new freaking frets. Drop one. So, yeah, that kind of gives you an idea of what's happening. Come on, dang it. Shape that. Gives me a rough idea where to cut. At least I'm hoping you do. You just got to do some killer shredding on it when you get it. Film it. I can't wait to hear it through that iconic. I can't wait to hear it through that iconic amp. Oh, I put green back here also for the noise. And I think let's see if I have a let me see. Is that it? I only have one, and I'm sorry. I thought I had at least two because they're the super strong noiseless springs, but look what I had. Thought I had two. I was going to use them, but I only had one. How would that look? But these suckers, I mean, these babies are like, that's the tough ones there. Any questions in the chat while I'm here? It's a lot nicer when you do a pre-cut. And then that broke off, so it'll be nothing. Just kind of get a devil's in the details, Max. Thank you, Peggy. Yeah, I mean, even though my dad his toolbox was a mess, all his toolboxes, when I worked with him at the factory and here at the garage. One thing, though, he always talked about was if you're going to do it so you're proud of it. Don't put one out where you're like, oh, well, the next one will be better. So that's been pounded in my head since I was old enough to understand language. And details where everything's at. So again, all this is now got solid continuity around the entire electrical system. So we're away with paint jobs, you name it. You are only as good as the let out. I don't want to stare and say, hey, yeah, that paint job was good, but that's why again, that's just how I was raised. It was every time you do something, the next time you do it, try to make it better. Constantly improve. Constantly. Because if you ever think you know it all or all that, then like I said last time, there's always someone better, faster, smarter. It's just how I was raised. To me, it's normal. I keep having to go upstairs and get my wife's the mini Dyson V8 or whatever the hell it is. Come down here and do this floor all the time. I told her, I said, you want to get me one for Christmas? Just do that. It's just how I don't know. It's just how I've always done it. How he always made sure I. Like I said, I grew up. Excuse me. He worked for Navis. Well, it was International Harvester initially. He worked for International Harvester on afternoon shift when I was a little kid. And then he had 2 body shops. So he was at the body shops till 3 p.m. Then he went to Navistar and worked till 11:30. So the only time I got to see him when I was that young was to hang out with him at the body shop. And he was a master. If Raymond's in here, yeah, he was a master at letting in seams and stuff like that. I don't even think they do that anymore now. But he was, and he worked that lead better than most people work Bondo. So yeah, it was just, that's do it right the first time and be done with it. The next time you do it, try to do it better. And so I hung out with him at the body shop. And then when I got older and started working with him at the plant, I spent 9 years with him here at by then it was Navistar. And then when our plant shut down, we went to, that's how I ended up in Springfield, Ohio. And I ended up being his boss there. Which was weird, but funny. Hard to do work with this tape with gloves on. So, yeah, he was a freaking master with the lead, man. I mean, sitting there, stick of lead, and then the wood paddles, and just put it in there like nothing. He had 50. I can't show you. It's on the phone. 57 or 58 O's that was in Carcraft magazine. Back in the early 60s. It had all. It was white, like a snow alpine white, and he had white tuck and rolled leather interior all in it. Yeah, my first day there, because I was trying to get back in the union, but the union hall up there didn't like the fact that because at that time, the early '90s, Navistar was shutting down a bunch of its factories. But the Springfield plant is the assembly plant where the whole semi is put together. It starts out as two blank frame rails, and then less than 3 hours later, it drives off the assembly line. And then it goes to everything to get checked out. But so there's one every 4 minutes. I think a new truck rolls off the end every 4 minutes. And the union didn't like all the other units from all their other factories showing up there. So they started calling anybody who was not from there was a boater. So they're coming in by the boatloads. And they negotiated with the contract or with the company, which still don't know if that was ever legal or not, but they negotiated that every 6 months, I think it was 6 months, I know it wasn't a year. It was less than a year. But if you're on what they had in the master recall list, then I'm just going to say 6 months. Every 6 months, they would start from the bottom up, and you had to have so many years to stay on the list. Well, I only had 9 years. I stayed on it for, I think, 2 or 3 cuts. Then I finally got cut off of it. So I went up there, and they had a deal where it was, open hiring, but they're like, what we're going to do is if you worked for us before and couldn't stay on the recall list, you got a different color application. Everybody's application was white for us, so ours was yellow. And that way they looked at us first. And they called me in, and they're like, well, we can't hire you in the union, but we can make you the boss. I'm like, okay. So I worked, it was Department 55. It was 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, even holidays. That's what my dad worked. And I'm like, oh, I'm on second. They're like, no, you're first shift. So I worked from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m., 7 days a week. And that was with my dad, and I was his boss. And the first day there, I was standing there with the guy who hired me. And he was like showing me everything. And then here comes my dad. The plant is so big. I don't know if you can look online or not and see it. It's like almost half a mile wide and almost a mile long, and it's 3 floors. So if you ever had to do any like traveling or anything inside the plant thing, everybody had golf carts. So I'm standing there with the guy who hired me. I'd only been there about an hour. And here comes my dad on a golf cart, stopped and said hi, and he started pulling away. And I looked at him, and he had his safety glasses up on his head. And the guy kind of looked at me, and I'm like, Dad, safety glasses. And another one of the guys that works with him was sitting there and goes, oh, shit. We're screwed. If he's like that with his old man, what chance do we have? And I'm like, Jesus Christ. But I had a blast there. Had one guy had a farm. He had ostriches. And he brought in an ostrich egg one time. One egg. And they made scrambled eggs out of it. And that one ostrich egg was like the size of a smaller soccer ball. And it fed 22 guys one egg. these guys had microwaves, refrigerators, all in their toolboxes. They had shelves with all this stuff in it hidden. One guy, what they called a doll-up line, he was from the paint department inspector. And what would happen is they had 3 stalls where the semis would come out, and they'd converge into 2 rows, and they had 2 rows, 2 lines, conveyor lines, where the truck actually moved literally about this fast down the line. And there was certain stations on there, and guys, there was something wrote up, it might have the wrong radio in it or, whatever, and the paint inspection guy. And you had that long of time to go through and fix it. It never stopped. It just went like that. And there was just one guy there on the line who was a paint inspector. I don't think he ever did any inspection. All he did was sit on the line and make bologna and egg sandwiches and then sold them. But he wasn't allowed to sell them, so they were a $1 donation. He had a donation jar. That place freaking gave money away, man. I wish I'd have got to retire from there. But that's something pretty unique, because I don't know any one of my classmates I graduated with ever had the experience of getting to work with their dad. I worked with him for a total of almost 12 years. So that was kind of weird to, at the house he was dad, and then I got to see him at the job, and I learned a lot, learned a lot of respect for him. He never turned down overtime, ever. He would go to work sick. I mean, he always believed that lead by example. How his philosophy was, how can I expect you as my son to work overtime if I'm not going to do it? So that's what he did. That's just how old school Italian. If it doesn't kill you, it makes you better. Sorry I'm taking so long on here, but even though I can talk and chew gum at the same time, I'm taking a little longer on this. But again, when Alex gets this, I want it to be right. Not very many that I know of. But my Uncle Green Mancini, and that was his actual first name, Green. He was the freaking boss of the family. I'll tell you that much. All right, we're good there. Good on the back side. Let me hang this stuff back up. Yeah, if I could have cleared this today, Monday, I could have been putting it all back together. I went out there, actually went outside 3 times because the sun came out. But yeah, I got it. I kept getting rain alarms on the phone, 15 miles away, 6 miles away. but the sky looked pretty clear. I'm like, okay, I can do this. 3 different times. And every time I went out there, be out in the garage, getting everything ready and look out, and here comes the clouds. Then here comes the drizzle. I was like, son of a, that hurt. Just shoved the razor blade in my hand. Okay. Wonder why my hands look like they do. Because of crap like that all the time. Razor blade was in all that wrapped paper there. I didn't know that. Damn, that hurt. I know Janice laughs because it's like, oh, you hurt your fingers again. No. My hands have always, anybody who's spent their life working with their hands knows there's, ask Laz, there's scars and yeah, I found one of my Navistar. Matter of fact, I took a picture of it, but I can't show you because it's on the phone. 1990. It was the first week of March, 1998. And already in what? January, February, in the first week of March, I'd already had like $12,000 made in 1998. And the check, I was brought home like $2,000. Like I said, I'd love to be able to do that now, even for a few months. Let me see what else. All right. So that's done. I can't put any of that in. Oh, I know I can do. Hold on, Alex. Alex, do you want the back plate on it or not? Alex's parts are all here. So I don't know if you want this or not on it. So, okay, another question. Should I leave this black or should I put green like this on there? Probably on. Okay. So you'll see, I mean, you barely see it, the black. So I can cut out a piece and put here in this color green or just leave it black. So let me know what you want. Leave it black. Okay. All right. So there's that. Like I said, I mean, I could feed the wires through here. Just won't hook them up. Obviously. But you can at least see what it'll look like. And give you a clearer idea. Got the trim that wasn't attached. Luckily, it's a Floyd Rose. They don't get hurt. There's that. There's like a 15-second delay. At least from what I'm seeing on the screen. Between when it happens and 15 seconds later before it's on there. All right, Alex. So there. Now it'll be shiny, obviously, but there you go. And that's pretty much what you're looking at right there. If I wanted to blend that big run in with that, and then down here a little bit into that, and obviously the corner hit here, then the splatter here got up in here, so I tried to make it match. So you can, let's see, I don't even know if I might have, I think I have one chrome, well, yeah, I got one chrome. Or just the one with the Abilene top? No. All right. Here's an idea. I got one. Yeah, it's like 20 seconds later you're seeing it. You like the black ones, okay. All right. I just thought I'd show you. I only have the one. So I ordered a set of two. Figured if you didn't want them on here, then I'd have them for something else. I do have these. It's like a seafoam green. Or I do have gold. I got two. Yeah, I got two gold ones. Two red ones. Now you're getting into Christmas. All right, black it is. Okay. Black knobs. So anyhow, You get an idea of what it's going to look like. Just imagine it glossy. And playing fabuloso. My James, you might understand this. My father or my grandfather, you try to decide something. He would, don't be stunard. Don't be stunard. Then if you did it and he got mad, it was fanculo. Fanculo. So anyhow, Alex, I want to picture you playing this thing. I want to hear it. And I want to see it jamming, man. Yeah, I can't. I mean, if it was cleared, I could be putting it all back together. But you got all this. You're all hardwired now, so you got the best connections you can get. I mean, that's literally hardwired. They're separate wires. I just wrap them with the drill. It looks a little neater. So, but you're going to be basically. And then I can kind of pull them a little tighter. Make them look neat when you take the back cover off. Oh, speaking of that, wait a minute. I know it's got the chrome on it. We're going to go over that with the green or the gold. Yeah, I heard I can tell you that my Nona and her sisters, when they got mad, you think it's for those of you non-Italian or non-traditional Italian, I should say, I can guarantee you from experience, cast iron skillets in the back and in the head freaking hurt. Because my one aunt, I just love to terrorize her. I don't know why. I got called bastardo, which I'm sure you all know what that is. Leather belts. Leather belts and frying pans. Wooden spoons. Whisk. Metal whisk. It all hurts. Mr. Mick, everyone I have is floating. I do not own one decked, and I don't own one locked out. And I've said it for years. If you have a tremolo and if you have a Floyd Rose, I'm just going to say Floyd Rose, because I know there's Gotoh and Schaller. Well, Schaller makes Floyd, but I'm going to say every one of mine floats, because I am a firm believer. If you have it decked and you're only doing dive bombs, you're only using half the tremolo. So why have a $300 tremolo if you're only going to use half of it? So every one of mine are floating. Unfortunately, a detuna will not work correctly with a floating tremolo, it has to be decked. I mean, I've seen people try it and say it works, and then you know, prove it, show me, and then they can't get it to work. So yeah, I don't even try it. It's just they're all floating. So yeah, it's I mean, I would love to have a detuna, but I'm not willing to give up the floating tremolo for one. I try to set most of them up with 2 springs. And I would say probably 95% of all my guitars are only 2 springs. There's a couple that's you know, got 3. Because sometimes, I mean, you know, and it sucks. Sometimes you just get a guitar and you can't get 2 to work. I mean, you can go with the heavier springs if you still want 2, but then it's just like 3 of the smaller springs. You know, when I go with 2 springs, I want it to, you know, you just touch it like that and it works. Thank you, Peggy. Let's create that Faraday cage. Let's keep the interference at bay. I'll go around here and trim it on here. I always leave it overlap some, but I cut it so you can't see it when it's like, you know, I cut all this off. That way overlaps, gets us in that seam all the way. I usually go with the black. I have red, and like I said, I don't know if you were here. I had a solar guitar that I had a big 42 block on it. Anyhow, I traded it to Dane for Zim's guitars, and it was the only one I ever had that I had to use the green spring. I got away with 2 of them, so I left me with 1. And yeah, Dane had it. He doesn't have any. I don't think it lasted long there. It had a Black Winter pickup in it, Floyd, and it was like a lime neon or something, electric lime neon. Again, I got pictures on it, but it's all on the phone, so I can't show you. If you guys remind me in the next chat that Johnny has, the next show that I do with him, I'll show it to you. Because I had pictures where there was a blue light on, and I took some photos of it, and it was like, I mean, you talk about something just glowed. Neon lemon, I think it was. It was bright. Dane did an unboxing video of it. That was probably 2 years ago. I traded it. I don't know what I traded it for. Might have been that green and black crackle. But you go on Zim's Guitars and look, he's got an unboxing of a Solar, and that's from me. And that's what I had to use those springs on. But if I can get away with 2, it's always 2. And I'm sure there's a couple I could get away with 2 that have 3 on it right now, but it's only because I don't have the right tension springs where I could go with 2. But yeah, I always go for 2. And when I do the 3, you have 1 here on an angle, 1 here on an angle, and 1 down the middle. Not all parallel. 1 straight and these 2 on an angle. And if you look up the Floyd Rose patent, that's the way Floyd designed it. Everybody's like, oh, you got to have them parallel for equal tension. No, you don't. You don't need 3 equal tensions if you just need that. Oh, I hear Ava coming down. I may have to go out. What time is it? Oh, yeah. Beth went. All right, she can't stay up late anymore. Hi, sweetheart. What are you doing? You want to come up here? Come on. Come on. Come up here. Come on. Come here. Come on. Come on. Come on. Hi. Well, hi. Shake. Shake. Hi. How you doing? Nothing? You gotta go outside? Yeah. Give me a minute. So anyhow, I'll be back. I'm not gonna. Yeah, she's going to be 7 years old October 14th, I think. Had her since she was 7 weeks. Huh. And she picked me out of a litter of 10. You gotta go outside. All right, I'll be right back, everybody. Come on, let's go. Well, you can let me get up first. All right, everybody. I'm sorry about that. Mr. Mick. So when you use the floating trim, no, it should always go in perfect tune. If it's not, it's either not set up right or the knife edges are wore down or the posts are wore down. Because this whole thing only balances right there on it. It's a knife edge. So you're getting spring tension and then string tension, and it's got to be level to the body. When it's set up right, and I always set them up in playing position. So when I do this, they go a little bit sharp. Go like that, they're back to normal. Go like that, they'll go a little flat. And Alex, don't worry about this. This will, I can buff this right off. That's just from smearing from, it was on here. Fortunately, I cleaned that and waxed the back off before all that, so it'll buff right off. Yeah, so if it's set right, I don't know if I got one that's got bad. Well, here's a cheap licensed Floyd Rose, and it's got the inserts in it, but you can see that insert is bad. So it's one of three things. It's either not set up right, or the blade knife edge is bad, or because what will happen is that'll catch on that and not let it go. Like right now, I can feel it clicking. Usually, if it's a newer tremolo, or if it's not someone who uses it like Dime did, or Eddie, or Brad Gillis, any of those guys, it's usually just not set up right. And I walked Laz through set his up. I did this one before for MPN, and now it's going to Alex. So this one's already set up. The first thing you do, I can show you the one that was on this guitar. I haven't touched it. It's going to need new saddles. So you take these off, take those off, get the saddles off. There's 3 screws here, one in the middle, one on each end. We'll take the block out, and this shim right here, it's a shim, and it looks, hold on. When you take it out, this is what it looks like. And it goes in between the block and this spring, your tension spring. What it's actually for, if you look here, it's to add extra tension to the spring, because it's back there on the back section of it. You don't need it. It's another layer that just robs the tone from the the tone. So you take that and you throw it away. Use it for other stuff. Then put it back together. And what happens is the 3 screws that are in here go down in the block a little bit more, which gives you more sensitivity. So that was never set up. So none of mine have that shim on them. And I was throwing them away, and I mailed a couple away to, well, I mailed a couple away to Oklahoma for some reason. But now I keep them because I come for other things. So Mr. Mick, anytime. I told Johnny that's why I'm on the show. I don't have nothing to hide. I'm showing people When I did this on Johnny's show last night, I said, hey, give me 5 minutes. I could have said, well, that's going to take hours, but I got nothing to hide. And I'm not saying I'm the end all of guitar repair either. I'm not. But after 40 plus years, I know what I'm doing. I know what works, but I never turn down advice or ideas from other people too, because anybody can show you something. And that's just how I look at it. And, on Johnny's show, I love that we go to the bench now and do stuff like this. And that's why last Friday I went live, and I went live tonight because we didn't have the show. And I like going to the bench, and quite honestly, it's boring to sit here alone working on a guitar with the music playing. So I sent a message to him and Rich, said, hey, I think I'm going to go live for a little while. So just while I was working on this. So as far as this goes, I am now done with this until I spray the clear on it. Once the clear's on it and dries, then I can put it all back together, and then I'm going to let the clear dry for a couple of days, Alex, once I spray it. Hopefully I can spray it tomorrow. If not, definitely Monday. But get it done and let it dry for a couple of days, put it back together, and ship it back to you. And if tomorrow it's chance of rain. Monday it's like 30%. All week it's like off and on, but nothing's a given. So hopefully I can get this sprayed, and I'm going to spray CC's and this one at the same time. I have Rich's guitar ready to be sprayed white, and I printed out the dots to put on it. And that's another hint I gave last time I went live. If you're doing a decal, I'm doing a Fender Strat for Bay Area Rich, red with white polka dots. And the red paint actually is right here. It's called Performance Red. Performance Red. And I'll show you what it looks like. Let me move this. I don't need to get red paint on this, Alex. Oh, sorry, I didn't know he's back here. I thought you were still upstairs. Yeah. Yeah, in my 60 years, she is my 11th German Shepherd. And I didn't get all of them at pups. Some of them I got when they were 6, 7 years old. But she's the 11th one. Let's see. That's all I've had with Shepherd. Well, one with the first one was a Shepherd, and take it back. First one was a Shepherd and Collie. And then the second one was a Shepherd and Husky. And then from that point on, the last 9 are full-blooded AKC registered Shepherds. She's AKC registered, and some other register too. Okay, so this is the color Rich's guitar is going to be with white polka dots. So you have to paint the guitar white first, then put the polka dots on it, and then here's the tip. So you don't get bleed through. Once you have the polka dots on it in place, and these will look blue because the stencil's blue, you spray this color red right here. And then once they dry, I can peel the dots off, and then we're going to have the red guitar with the white dots. And that looks orange under this light, but it's Performance Red. Everything looks orange. I'm sorry, the walls in here are orange. and black. Most of the lights are orange and black. This light's a LED light, but it's got an orange tint to it. And the funny part is, I don't like orange that much. When I did all the sound stuff on the walls, and I even did it on the ceilings, I wanted to go yellow and black, like the Steelers. And, I was looking for this color yellow, and the only yellow I found looked like this, like baby puke yellow. So I didn't want that. I didn't want to go the blue and black because that's too dark. So it came between orange and black and green and black. And the green, thought about it, and I thought, well, that's dark too. So I went with the orange and black, and which is funny because my high school, I'm obviously not in Springfield anymore. I'm back home where I grew up. The high school I graduated from is literally, I could throw a football and hit it. It's just right on the corner. And it's the Shady Side Tigers. So their colors are orange and black. So everybody that comes here says, oh man, you're still got the school spirit. No, I don't. I lost that 43 years ago. So, yep. So I use lacquer paints. I do have, I have a, it's a black cherry plum or something like that. It's a real dark cherry plum color. It's either black cherry plum or black plum cherry. I wanted to, something like that. And it's a base coat. That's the only one I have base coat. The rest I always use lacquer. But the clear coat I use is the Auto HQ Show Car Wet Gloss. So it's the same thing I've put on cars. I don't know if you can see the drawers here, but organization is the key. I keep trying to tell Johnny that. Just makes things easier. But I understand. Hi, baby. I don't know why I got this one sitting here. I put the neck on this last week or 2 weeks ago. Different neck. I got rid of the rosewood and went with the maple. And the other neck, because I actually did this twice. I did this once about 3 years ago and never finished it. It just sat around for almost 3 years. And then, but it was a different color green. It was, well, matter of fact, now I don't know how well it's going to show up, but here, it was a darker green, as you can see. It was, when I did this body the first time, it was that color, green and black, and I had it on the headstock. So the other day, I'm looking at this, and I swapped the pickup out, put the 1000 Floyd on it. I'm looking at the neck and I'm thinking, well, because when I did this color green, I splashed a little bit on the headstock. The other one, then it made it look worse because it had the two different shades of green, which I still have it here. I'll show you. Check it. Yeah, I took some of it off. I think I wiped it off, and I tried to put this green. You can look there; it's still the darker green. So I was like, you know what? I want to go with the maple neck. So that was fresh. That was just like this. So I went ahead and splattered some of this green on that so it matches completely. Again, that's OCD, I guess. I don't know. I just don't, if it can match, and look good, then why not? You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. Yeah, they had this hanging in the store for like almost 3 months. I just finished it. I only had it for like 4 or 5 days. Then my daughter took it up to the store and they hung it on the wall, a display with the other bodies I painted for the store. And I don't know how many times that first month I was getting calls from the different guys working the counter like, dude, you want to sell your King V? You want to sell it? I got people here wanting to buy it. No. But usually when I do a custom paint job, MPN can attest to that. I think he's here. Or he should still be here. When I do a custom paint job, I like it to clear so you can't feel whatever the design is, you can't feel it. And then I started reading about Chris Holmes's white, the 32nd Jackson ever made. It was white with blood, well, red all over it, down the back of the neck, everything. And the painter initially started doing it, and I guess Chris was there at Charvel Jackson when they were doing it. And he's like, he was putting the red on, and Chris telling him more. So finally, the guy got mad and handed Chris the can of red and said, "You do it." So Chris Holmes just walked over and started pouring it on the body, and the guy's like, "You'll never be able to sand down smooth and clear over him." He's like, "I don't care, just clear over." It's if you have a real blood running down your arm, you can feel it. When it dries, you can feel it. That's what he wanted. So that I always wanted a guitar like that. So when I did this, that's literally what I did. I poured it on there, and then when I sprayed over it, I didn't sand it down, so you can feel every bump in every line, which is how Alex's is going to be. But MPN, I don't know if I'm wrong. I don't think I am, but you can't feel any of the glitter on the Cosmo. Yeah, Greasy. Yeah, the guy from Swiss Picks. Yeah, he owns 2 old Wasp guitars. He owns that one and the Pipes one. Oh yeah, Peggy. I didn't know you didn't know that. I made you a mod. I did that last Friday. I forgot to tell you. So you notice you got. So, yeah, and that's why I did it this way. But it would take some of it just wouldn't look the same. So, Alex, this is what it's going to be glossy like this, but you'll be able to feel the runs, which I think is pretty cool. Like I said, I've never owned one, never did one like this. And here's something that's really weird. If you look at this, you can see that's poured in 2 different places. I didn't go straight here and try to match it. I just poured it on there. But funny part is, look how it came out underneath. It's like, look right here. I don't know how well you can see it. They're almost identical. Both sides, even though I poured them at 2 different times. So, yeah, this pickup here is a dummy pickup. It's not hooked up. This tone pot is nothing. So what I did is I put the volume here, got rid of the switch, put a kill switch, took out. So it was tone, three-way switch, volume for both pickups. I very rarely use a neck pickup. And for this guitar, I wouldn't be playing anything that I would need a neck pickup on. Nothing jazzy related or anything. So I thought, well, I'll put the kill switch in there. So when I'm playing, it's right there. And put the volume here. So it's kind of out of the way, but it's right there. Then this is nothing, and I got this down level with the pickup ring. This is a custom 5 in here. So yeah, but I guess people coming in the store, like anybody who was into 80s music was like wanting to buy this guitar. I mean, I got so many calls. They're like, hey, what do you want for it? And one guy offered me $1,200 for it. I said, it's not for sale. I mean, even though it is a made in Japan King V, but yeah, I mean, it's just not for sale. I mean, I don't want to sell it. I went through a couple periods of life over the last 40 years where I had to sell guitars and amps because stuff needed done. I don't want to do that again. So I don't call this alien blood. I call this the predator blood. So if anybody's ever watched the Predator movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, his blood was this color. And actually, for those of you who may not know how they made that, I read an article. What are you doing, babe? The green glow sticks you snap and they light up green. They took, I don't know how much KY jelly, mixed it in a jar and broke those green and stirred it all up. And that was the predator blood. And I've just always liked slime green. Has always been one of my favorite colors, that and yellow and red. And if you're buffing, here's a hint. Do not stay in one place, continuously move. Granted, the clear on here is really thick. It would take a lot to burn through it, but it's possible. So continuously be on the move. I've buffed so many damn cars over the 50. I'm 60. I think I buffed my first car when I was like 9. So 51 years of buffing cars. You learn a thing or two. It's so nice having this extra room back behind me now. Yeah, I sprayed this with I sprayed this guitar with black. It was black lacquer, but it was something black. And then when it ended up drying. I was looking at it thinking, damn, I don't even know if I want to do anything to it, because it was a real pretty, turned out great. I'm like, no. I want to do the alien or the predator blood. So this guitar play with this neck plays better. The Custom 5 sounds better. The setup, oh wait, Mr. Mick, you still here? Do this. Let me see. You still here, Mr. Mick? All right, let's see. Listen. All right. In tune. Actually, you'll be able to do this to yours too. In tune. When they're set up, that's what they do. Then you in tune. I've had people say, "Oh, Floyd, say you get they won't." Yeah, if you again, it's all in the setup. If you have it set up, and I got people driving 3 hours with their guitars, and they'll hang out here while I set up their Floyd for them. What are you doing, babe? I'm sorry. She got ear itches, and the vet gave us medicine for it. So I put the medicine in. She doesn't like it. Yeah, well, if you get it set up right, Peggy, but what a lot of people don't understand, again, it's set up, and these are, let's see, these are Ernie Ball strings, and I only use those because I was out of the D' Addario. But when you set them up, they're set up to that particular string set and gauge. Now, here's what's really weird. Sometimes you can have, okay, let's see what I got here. Now I got more strings. My daughter got me some more strings the other day. I got 2 more weeks to get string. Well, I can still get them from my aunt. But, okay. 9 through 42 and 9 through 46. So let's forget the 46. Let's go 9 and 9. They're both the Addarios, but two different. So if I would break an E string on here, well, usually I have these on them, the NYXLs. If I would break the high E and I put the high E on here, which is also the Addario 9, it may not be set up just right for that. When you got them set that nice, they're set up for that particular string, not just necessarily gauge, but actual, not even brands will, it can screw it up. And that's where a lot of people get confused and get upset. They're like, well, I can't, I broke it and I put another 9 on it. Well, if it's set up right, properly, just another 9 won't work. It's got to be the same one it was set up with, the same brand and model, or same type, whatever. And that's why a lot of people are like, well, I ain't going to mess with all that. Well, if you do, it's the outcome. You can do stuff like this. You can do stuff like that and not have to worry about going out of tune. I have, well, now I got the blue one, the red one. I think I have 132 guitars with Floyd Roses. And I only have less than 10 that don't have tremolos. Or maybe 10, somewhere around there, not counting acoustics. Yeah, I mean, and again, well, you get both the Adarios, but they're two different types. Same company. It may, and you look at it and think, well, that's not wound like these are. Believe me, if this is set up properly, it's set up for that. You could change the strings 100 times as long as it's the same one, and it'll stay in tune. But if you go from that to this, even though it's the same company, it's not going to be right. And that's what a lot of people get pissed about. They think, well, it's set up, that's what it's going to be. Not necessarily. I explain to people all the time. Wait, I think I have a. Do I have a knife here? Yes. All right. Demonstration. That little V right there and that knife edge. That is the only thing that got your guitar in tune on a Floyd. I mean, look at that. We are. It's something, it's and it's a learnable skill. The problem is a lot of people won't take the time to actually learn it. They get halfway through a part and they're like, oh, this is so screwed up. Hell with it. And then they sell it to people like me for next to nothing. And I spend 20 minutes to fix it. And then you get this. Honey, I gave you your medicine. I can't give you no more. So yeah, I mean, but it's doable. But whenever you set the intonation, always do it in the playing position. Because if you set the intonation here like this, and you got it set, then when you go like this, it's going to be off a little bit. So I set everything in playing position. Now, here's another tip. It's never a good thing to adjust the height. I mean, it wouldn't be ideal to adjust it for a year or however long, under tension, but never do it with nothing on there. Put a little bit of this oil. You can buy, MPN bought some of this off Amazon. It's just, I just went open for 2 years and that's all I've used out of it. And when you put a tremolo, when I set a tremolo up, usually they all have arms, but I didn't get one for this one yet. So I'm going to show you the oiling points. As I'm putting the tremolo together, I put drop in little and then some on the outside on threads. Okay. So when I put this in, well, except for the pushing one, you don't do it only when you got the screw in tight. Spin it around like that. Gets the oil around, goes on threads a lot better. Stays there, you can tighten it up. Okay, so then if it works its way at front, you'll never get the string to stay in. So what you do, honey, I'm sorry, I can't give you no more. So what I do, and I'll show you just an old, let's see if I got an old setup. Okay. An old block. I got a whole, let's see, 1, 2, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I got a 30 tray box that are full of Floyd Rose stuff. So obviously, you got the one with the hole in it. So it's going in that cavity at all. So what I do then is I take just a little bit like that. And then put it on that thread as it's going in, and a little bit on that end that goes in that hole in that slide or that block. That's it. So you oil that, oil this, oil these, get rid of that shim, and put oil on the post. There you go. So there's another tip. But it's again, it's something that anybody can learn. It's just a lot of people don't have the patience to learn the whole thing. So I did do the Fretzler or Fretzler on these, as you can see. Alex, your frets look just like this. So, but I don't care too much for the white binding on this neck. I wish it didn't have binding on it, but it does. But this neck plays better on this guitar, even though it's a made in Japan King. Yeah, when the Fretzler goes back in stock, I'm buying another one just to have it. So, Alex, I had done all that to this tremolo. So, you hang out with Laz and those guys, EVH guys. So you know, it's EVH Floyd Rose. It's blasphemy putting EVH on a Jackson, but oh well. Go get a drink, sweetheart. Go ahead. Go get a drink. I know. Now you got your ear all irritated. Go get a drink. I can't give you any more medicine. Yeah. Like the biggest offer for this at the store was $1,200. So. So yeah, and I've been messing with Floyd since 1985, so 40 years. I mean, I got a 30 tray container here that's full of Floyd parts. A lot of stainless upgrade stuff, and I got some of the stainless colored stuff in there. And I get. I'll show you this too. Did I put them in there? Where'd I put them? I just got some the other day. Here. I get these from Monster Bolts. Right here. There's everybody take a screenshot of that if you can. That's their Floyd kit. It's the saddle screws, these 6, and then the 3 nut screws. Stainless. Nice stainless. And this kit is under $3. So I usually buy 10 of these at a time. So I got another pack or some more of these in. But I have some already out divided up in here. So yeah, Monster Bolts, those. And then for the Strat screws right here. If you got a Strat style tremolo, you know, if you lower your strings, how the set screws stick up and catch your hands. Well, you can go to Monster Bolts, and they got all different sizes for Fenders, American Fenders, Wilkinson, all kind. And you can, if you set it low enough, you can use one of those, and nothing sticks out, and it won't hurt your hands. Monster Bolts, man, is great. I think they're down in Florida. Let's see. Peggy's Floyd has been over a year. Uh-oh. Send it to me, Peggy. We'll go over it. It'll be a show. And use pirateship.com. Save yourself a ton. You can go to pirateship.com and print out your own UPS label for a third of what it would cost. Oh, I hit the floor. Alex, let me put yours back up here. So, again, this is the Radford. So, and again, you got all hardwired in and pure tone. So this will all look a little bit better, and I can, wrap it nice and neat inside. I like it when, when people get them, it looks professional. Sometimes I can even use, watch out, babe. Watch out. Sometimes I can even use, I don't know what drawer they're in. Still getting used to where I put everything in here. I saw them the other day. Anyhow, I have they're like a square, and you can put wire ties this way or that way through it, and they're self-adhesive. So sometimes I'm able to put those in the cavity. Like this cavity is big enough, I can actually put one right here on that little wall, and then run the wires and zip tie it. So it looks all, I just like it to look neat. So when, if you look at it, you open it up and look at it, damn, it's pretty good. That's the same thing I do to the guitars I fix for, the people wanting to learn music, and even the guitars that get donated, I give away. I used to go to pawn shops and buy them for $100, fix them up and give them away. But thankfully, MPN donated one, Rich has donated some, T's Guitars has donated some, Greasy Monkeys donated. Greasy's didn't last very long. I think I only had that for 2 weeks. So that, but I go through them and do that to it too. I mean, I'll even use this wax wire. It's something. It makes they're proud of it, and they want to play it because they're proud of it. That's just how I look at it. I mean, I don't, like I said before, I don't do any of that fixing, repair stuff, charge anything for it. Most of the stuff is donated parts. So again, if any of you have any parts you want to donate or even guitar, that's up to you. Send me an email, because it all gets used. The only thing I charge for, and it's not for ones for I'm giving away to students, is paint jobs. As far as rebuilding them, as long as it's with donated parts, I donate my time. It gives me something to do. I'm retired. I love it. I did ones for Faith and Failure. And they played last night, and they're playing tonight. Well, let's see. Yeah, they're probably still playing. Stuff like that. just love doing it. I just, I don't do it that way. So people say, oh, well, Ron's way. I just do it because I learned a long time ago, treat people the way I want to be treated. If I took my guitar somewhere, I wouldn't want it come back half-assed. 89 cents a sheet, and the sheet's a regular 9. Well, I'll show you. Sheet's a regular 9x11, I think. You can get all different colors. All right, there. 9x12. Adhesive foam sheet. But I get all different colors. I get yellow, that green, blue, gray, like a blood red. 35-ish. That's what I've been doing. That's how long I've been working on stuff for people. I funded it all myself for a long time, but that's when I was working. Now I'm retired. I rely on donations from you guys. I literally can't afford to go anymore and buy, I would go to the pawn shop, buy 4 cars, then come home and order all the parts I need for them, fix them all up and take them and give them out. And when I was working, that was fine. But now that I'm retired, I just afford that. But I don't want to stop. So I do it with the donations from you guys. And I tell people, I said, hey, if you watch the Johnny Bean TV show on YouTube, people in the chat are the ones that supplied cars or parts made this possible. I was asking people when they sent stuff, do you want me to say who donated it? And most of the time they said no. There was one guy, and Peggy, you know who I'm talking about. There was one guy who promised to send a whole bunch of stuff that I really needed. And then he just went away. He was sending Seymour Duncan pickups, all kind. He said, I got a big, gigantic box for you loaded with stuff. I was like, cool, I'll be set. I'll be able to do this for quite a while. Then he quit coming in the chat and never sent anything. He lives in Indiana, in Indianapolis, matter of fact. Yeah, that kind of put the kibosh to me, because I had a list of everything he was sending, and it was quite a list. I was like, wow, I'll be able to do this for 2 years for people. And then it never showed up, and then he just went away, and no explanation, no nothing. I got a message from him say, I'll get it to you, blah, blah, blah. And then he had the address and everything. Said, okay, in 2 days, it'll be shipped. And that's been, well, I can tell you here in a minute. I still got the message on here, I think. Hold on. Last I heard from him was March 14th of this year. And he was like, this is one of the last things. Jesus Christ, that's like a pay. Tell you what, also, man, I got a freaking killer light show that's never been out of my house. I bought it to use and for the Country Music Festival. And then before it came, the company from Atlanta bought up the radio station, came and cleaned house. So I got basically stuck with all that shit. So I got it obviously in my practice room, but don't need it. Wow. That was March 14th. I haven't heard from him since. Ava. Yeah, I mean, it was a big, I mean, we're talking a box that was going to weigh like almost 40 some pounds of nothing but tremolos, pickups, pots, nuts, tuners, necks, couple bodies, everything. I was like, are you kidding? He's like, no, you can have it all. I don't need it, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, great. Yep. Wait, I'll be right back. I'm gonna put something in here. I'm gonna see if I can get a little bit more in here. You give me a couple minutes. One. Okay, I had an anti-itch cream I was able to get in there. She fought me, but I got it in there. Yeah, that deal with that guy, that was, and here's how I look at it. If he didn't want to do it, that's fine. It was his offer from the beginning. Peggy was even in the chat that night when he was telling me all this stuff. Then he was sending me texts saying, yeah, I'll give you this, 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 and this. And hell, I'll throw this in with it too because I don't need that. And blah, blah, blah. And if he didn't want to do it, all he had to do is say, you know what, Ron, I changed my mind. But just to ignore everything and just not, I mean, that was uncalled for. And, it didn't hurt me, but it hurt. I guess I should have waited till my hands dried off before I tried to put more gloves on. It's not hurting me. It's hurting. I call it a program. It's hurting a program. Now I do know Torson T's Guitars. He has sent 2 so far for me to give away, and he's sending another one for me to give away, and then one for me to do the finish on. And then they're going to sell it. And he said he had other stuff to send too. So he, I'm getting stuff from him, and it all helps. It all helps. Keeps the program alive. I've had people say, well, what do you want? It doesn't matter what it is, honestly, because I never know what. I mean, I worked on an old early 60 Harmony, or what? It was a, and it had parts that I've never, in my wildest dreams, never had. So it's like, yeah, I take parts. It doesn't matter what they are, because I just never know what I'm going to need. Billy Ray. So yeah, that's, it doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter if it's new or used. Yeah, Rich. I think 2 times I got a notification from Amazon that I had something coming out. I didn't buy anything. Rich has done that, and that's great too. He's gone to Amazon and bought a bunch of supplies. He bought switch. He bought some tuners, or he bought capacitors with treble bleeds. He bought like Strat wiring kits. All to keep everything alive, or keep the whole thing going. So I appreciate it. Everything. It just helps out. Really helps out. Because I'm telling you, there's nothing like seeing these people smile when they get a guitar they couldn't afford, or couldn't get one fixed. They couldn't afford to get it fixed. Then it's playable, and they're able to take lessons and learn. That makes it worth everything right there. Thank you, Mr. Mick. I can put, what? Hold on. See, I'm live on the Fretworks channel, but I'm in here under the Ron Gunner. So let me see. All right. And to say, if that didn't work, Peggy, you'd have to go in and put it in there. But yeah, thank you, Mr. Mick. I mean, like I said, there's the smile it brings to their face is worth everything. It just, it's giving them, they're able to take lessons. And then that's something it's a thing you have with you for the rest of your life. Well, like right here, this is a perfect example. This guitar came with this tremolo on it, and for 4 years, it had the same strings. I mean, everything. It's rusted inside the saddles, everything. And can I fix it? Yeah. But this one was sitting there, and I know MPN said, hey, use it for someone that needs it. Well, this is better than this one anyhow, and it needed it. And Alex is only 25 or 26. I'm 60, so he's like a kid to me. So, yeah, I'm doing it. Oh, 27. He's still a kid. Cole's 37. Yeah, it's just something that, and it goes back, James, it goes back to the Italian thing. I gave my word to that guy that I would continue to pay it forward till I couldn't do it no more. And, I got to the point where I couldn't afford to buy everything needed to do it. But through the generosity of you guys, I'm still able to do it. So you're helping me keep a promise. And to me, that's respect. So, and again, who knows? Maybe we'll have maybe through your donations and my work, we'll have another 25 years from now, another Eddie Van Halen or Randy Rhoads or Dimebag. And they can say, hey, you know what? My first guitar or guy fixed my first guitar for me with parts from people in the chat. And, hey, who knows? Oh, I got to get a drink. I'm sitting here all this time thinking I need a drink. I forgot it was sitting behind me. Wow. I was expecting my cran grape ocean spray, and that was root beer. That was a big shock. Yeah, James, it's you guys are helping me do this and helping me keep a promise I gave. And I respect you guys for that. And that's why I love being on Johnny's show. When I had my shooting channel, which is the Ron Gunner channel, obviously. And I didn't go live. I would film videos and just post it. I never did anything live until I got on Johnny's show. And how I got it, for those of you who don't know, how I got on Johnny's show is one night him and his co-host at the time said, hey, just like he says every night when I'm on with him, if you got pictures of your guitars or equipment, send it in. Well, I happened to be watching one night and he said that, and I'm like, okay, you asked for it. So I sent him like 100 photos. And he's like, damn, dude, you got to get on the show. So I was on the show the following weekend as a guest. And then I became one of the 3 hosts at that time from that point. So that's how I got on the show, was from now this is my 3rd year. It's not been 3 whole years. It's into my 3rd year now. And that's how I did it, just from sending in photos. And I love it. I mean, I know there's some trolls in the chat and some jerks, but I don't interact with them. I mean, you guys have never did any ill will to me. I laugh at myself like falling out of the chair. Yeah, that hurt my tailbone for about 3 weeks, but it was funny. I didn't get mad because people laughed. I don't, that's, I can take a joke. I do all my own stunts. So, but, yeah, I mean, I enjoy all of you guys. You're here now with me in this one. There's no advertisement, and I didn't get on there and say, hey, a show schedule. It's something I did. I decided to do it 15 minutes before it went live. It would have went live 15 minutes earlier, but I couldn't get it to work on the phone, and I realized I had to do it on the computer. So it was a spur of the moment thing. So, yeah, it's just, I love it. And you guys are great and helping out like you're doing and helping me, letting me continue to do this. It's not just me bringing a smile to these people's faces now. Now it's also you guys. Mr. Mick, you're sending parts. That's going to make somebody happy. That's the best thing right there. And again, if you guys want me to say, I just say your username. I wouldn't give your real name. But if you guys want me to say, when I give this guitar, these parts are from Mr. Mick, I'll do that if that's what you want. But most people say, no, don't worry about it. But it doesn't matter. I give credit where credit's due. Again, and I know I keep harping on the Italian thing, but if you If you were raised by old school Italians like I was, you would understand it so much nicer or so much easier. My Uncle Green was full Sicilian, 100% Sicilian. Green Mancini. Oh, wait, I can't show. Here's a picture of me and him in probably 1980. It's actually me and my Uncle Green and my Nona's sister. Her name was Colley. Now, I know if you ever watch any gangster movie, you have the stereotypical gangster. This was my uncle. It's my Uncle Green, me, and my Aunt Colley. That's probably 1980. "100% Sicilian." He ran the mob from Youngstown, or from Canton, Ohio to Youngstown. And then I also have a picture of him during the Depression. I colorized the picture. AI colorized it for me. But anybody ever saw Michael Keaton was in it. Johnny Dangerously. The movie Johnny Dangerously with Joe Piscopo. This Joe Piscopo looked just like my Uncle Green. Look at that. That's during the Depression. It was an old black and white photo. I colorized it with AI. But yeah, he had Duesenberg, 12-cylinder Duesenberg. One for him and one for my Aunt Colley. They were his and hers during the Depression. Oh, I've shown this before. Here's the girl that we gave a clarinet to. She wanted clarinet lessons. Now she was able to take them. Her mom sent that, and it was like, I mean, that right there makes it worth all that. Just a smile. Yeah. Here's my Uncle Green. Here was his buddies. Let's just say his people hung out at the Bada Bing. Uncle Green's here on the end, but that's his crew. And then here is my my Nona, or for those of you who aren't Italian, my grandmother. She is on this end right here. This is when they came from Italy to America. Here's my grandma right here on the end. And the one next to her, or the other one right here, third one over, is my Aunt Colley, who was with Uncle Green. That's when they came to America from Italy. First thing my great-grandfather did was had a family portrait taken. So now let me get back in the chat so I can read what you guys are saying. So yeah, when I talk about being raised by old school Italians, that's it. And I can tell you, frying pans, wooden spoons, what's those? I said the metal whisk. Yeah. All that stuff hurts. But again, that comes back, I gave my word to that gentleman 40, 35 years ago. Well, he actually helped out 40 years ago. 86, be 40 years next year. And then from like 88, 89 is when I started paying it forward. That's when we were able to do it with the band. And I've been doing it ever since. So it's been 35, 36, 37 years. I've been doing this. So you guys are helping me do it. And I really appreciate that. And you guys got my respect for that. I know, Johnny's old co-host, some of them ended up being, you still can't prove it, but some of them end up being, liars and stuff like that. I show everything I say. And, I'm not, when I do this stuff, I'm not hiding it to do. And the reason I didn't show doing this because I couldn't do it here at the table. Literally all it was putting the green paint in a cup with a brush to do the speckles. And then literally pouring it on the body, held the body like that and poured it on there so it ran down. So, or I would have done it here to show you how to do it. MPN's guitar was a little bit different because I did it with that lacquer, the black lacquer. So James, you would know you don't have a lot of time before it starts drying on you. And so I had to spray it and then grab the different color glitters and powders and throw them on the guitar, which I can show you. Good night, Mick. I'll look at your email when I'm done here. But here's the glitters that was used on MPN's guitar, and then these powders. So, I didn't have, the glitter was first. Then I had to go and I had all the bottles open so it'd be quicker. So I did the glitter first. Then I took the powders on and threw them on. I had all that to do that with the lacquer drying almost pretty instantly. And that was the first time I'd ever done anything with glitter like that. So, I'm thinking, God, you're going to be able to feel all that glitter. And I realized, no, wait a minute, I'm not putting aerosol clear on here. So using the automotive clear, the wet clear, car show clear. So it was able to where you don't feel the glitter at all. So just stupid gnat here and I can't kill it. I just did. My new template to route out for Floyd showed up. So the Bengal Tiger West Creek guitar that Rich got for me, that guitar screams 80s, so it needs a Floyd. So I can route. I had one. I had a wood. Actually, here's the other pieces to it, I think. Yeah. So this is for the initial route, and then for the stud mounts, and then this is if you have to do the back of the guitar. And then it had a wood one like that, and I don't know what happened to it. I have no idea what happened to it. I can't find it anywhere, and I have now, it's been gone since before I got this bench, and I cleaned all this out. Now behind me, I can't find it. So I just ordered one. And I thought, well, I'll order because I have a single pickup that's also the acrylic right here. So I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and get another acrylic one. I had to get this and use it on Michael B's Night Swan when I added the neck pickup to that. So, yep, so I'm going to take that Bengal guitar and put the route on it. It's already got the back because it has like a Strat style tremolo on it. So the back section's already there. I'll just have to open it up a little bit down in here and then route the because I said earlier, all my Floyds, I don't have a decked one. You're only using half of it if that's how you have it set up. You're paying for the whole thing to be able to use it both ways, so why not use it both ways? So any other questions or anything? I don't care what they're about. I'll answer pretty much anything. Guitar related. Anything? Yeah, I am new to the live streaming, and like I said, I have the free StreamYard like Laz, but I've never ever used it. And I have no idea how to use it. So that's why I'm just going live here on YouTube. And I figured, well, I need a moderator. So have I watched any Guitar Summit coverage? No, I have not. Multi-Revelator. Revelator. Yeah, no. Jesus Christ, I can't even talk now. No. Let's just shorten that answer to no, I have not. Just Laz was, talking about it the other day. And we were looking at the website on his show Thursday. But I haven't seen anything on it whatsoever other than that. And that was, the night before, 5 hours before it started. So. I would love to go to NAMM. I really would. But every year something comes up. So it kind of sucks. So anyhow, Alex, now when this is on here, you notice I even brought it up here on the edges for that reason. So now we have. All right, we're there. So back here, obviously. And if I touch that to that, so there. And if you can get that down to 0, that's the best shielding you can get. So watch. You should be good to go. Yeah, I can't wait for you to be able to play this, Alex. But just to be on the safe side, when you open the box, film it. That way, if anything happens, they can't say, well, you broke it then. Okay. Film it as I did. I unboxed that filming it. And I didn't have to use it because there was nothing wrong. So I deleted it. But it's always good anytime you get a guitar shipped to you like that, it's always good to film it. It's an old screaming demon. You know what? That needs new tape. Thought, and someone had put an offer in on it. It was $20 shipping. So someone probably said they'd pay the 20. So I looked at it and said, one offer made. So I just clicked on buy it now and paid the $6. You can't beat. I mean, it's worn, but it's got output and it's still a screaming demon. And then I did get this. A custom forgot to give these away on Johnny's show. Jackson active set. So so the next show we do, I'll give these away. It's the wires that came in the guitar with it, including the jack and the power. So this is how it came in that Urban Camo Soloist. So someone can have this, win this. Okay. Yeah, again, wow. I can see that's like definitely not even sorry everybody. Like I said, it's just YouTube. It's not StreamYard. Plus it's on, actually I had to run it. The show's running from the computer and I'm okay. Well, that's the only thing I can do, I guess. So any other questions? Get the rubbing compound and get this off. Hell, let's see if I can do it real quick. I might as well do it. See, I'm the same old school as Dane. You know, if you're working on a guitar, man, clean. Why I don't. I mean, and I'm not saying it about Johnny. I am not. My son-in-law is the same way. He likes them looking like this, but if they get hurt and they, you know. So and like that, I'm sure you're going to get asked about this one, Alex, out there. Just give him my info. I have a big DeWalt buffer, but for this stuff, I don't need it. So I just don't. Again, that's how I was raised. Like the neighbor used to live next to me. He was the kid that had everything brand new when we were in the 70s, and it didn't matter what it was. If it was new and expensive, he got it. And so he did not. He had no comprehension of taking pride of your stuff and keeping it nice, because you didn't have to worry about it. If he broke it, he told mommy and daddy, and they just went and got him whatever else he wanted. And it didn't bother me because we were best friends. He lived right next to me, so every time he got something new, I got to play with it. And we're talking GI Joes and all that, Hot Wheels. And but I was always taught, if you get something nice, you learn how to take care of it, so you'll have it. And I there you go, Alex. No green paint on the guitar on the back. So I just grew up that way, and then when it come time, with the guitars, I've been the same way. I take care of them, yes, and I have guitars. I was in my band for almost 10 years, a little over 9 years, and it was constant playing, and then on tour, and the roadies even knew, don't mess up Ron's guitars. I took care of. I got some that that played out with me damn near every show, and they still look pretty much like new. It's just I just always been that way, and I'm not saying that's right or it's wrong. It's just how I am. And like I said, I'm not saying that to pick on Johnny, because my son-in-law is the same way. And from the looks of this one, Alex, looks like you were the same way too, but I hope you change that now. But yeah, so that's just how I am. Tools, guitars, cars. My Harley was always spotless. But I get it. I get it. I get, like I said, and my son-in-law is that way. I've given him, the yellow toolbox I had in here had all this stuff that's in this bench in. I gave that to him because he helped me carry this in. And I asked if he wanted. He said, yeah. So the other day I was at their house, and it's just got stuff thrown in every drawer. Nothing's organized. Whatever. It's his. I just know I can't do that. I can't be that way. It does not work for me. So while we're sitting here, I'll go ahead and take this one apart. We'll see just how bad it is. Yeah, I know, Peggy. I don't get it. I do not get it at all. But I know that's how it happens. And if that's just how you are, it's how you are. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, or I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. It's just different from me, and that could be good or bad. Now, from what I hear, Alex, the guitar coming from Garguts is going to make this one look like it was a museum piece. All right, so the low E is rusted inside the cavity along with the whole rail. Let's see if we can clean all that. Let me get these off here. One, yeah, these are marked. Am I going to have to wear a hazmat suit for his, Alex? Uh-oh. Yeah, look. Look at the outline. And that one is rusted down inside there too. So oh, that's got the screwdrivers, not the Allen head. These ones suck sometimes. Sometimes they don't want to come out very easy. I mean, Alex, you've had this for 4 years, and I can see there's no oil anywhere. Ah, there we go. All right, that piece of shit shim right there. Throw it away. Don't need it. One thing you can do, and I don't think it really matters, but I do it just to appease people. It helps stiffen the springs. Well, then just do this. Bend it up a little bit. There you go. Now it's set. Let me get this off here. Jesus. I don't want to come off that line. God. Yeah, look at that. Let me move this for a minute because I don't want to get anything on it. Put it up here. Yeah. Yeah, I just, I don't get it. I don't understand it. That doesn't mean it's right or wrong. It's just how it is, I guess. I need this right here. Let me get some white vinegar. Be right back. little bit of white vinegar and a little bit of Dawn dish soap. And we're just going to do this. Now I should put the gloves back on. Bend over. All right. As far as this stuff goes, it won't be used. I'll put that in here. That goes in there. That goes in there. I need to get some more. I don't know if I have any. Yeah, look at that. Crap, spilled it right here too. At least I like vinegar. When I was a kid, Christmas time, yeah, all the adults were here for the Christmas Eve party and they were all drinking. And all my uncles, were like, oh, yeah. I used to show them up by getting a big glass of red wine vinegar and just downing it. They couldn't do that. Rusted threads. Was this thing even in tune, Alex? I mean, I know you took it to Laz's. Michael B. Okay. Let's say if it was. You were lucky. That's a little different. From that to that. Well, I knew that was going to happen. What did Bugs Bunny say? If I doed it, I get a whipping. I doed it. As I said the other night, I am still a big fan of Looney Tunes. Best freaking cartoon series ever. I'm not ashamed to admit all my knowledge of opera comes from Bugs Bunny. So, we all saw what it looked like. I'd say that looks a little better. Yep. Killed a rabbit. What was it? Barber of Seville. So let's do this. See if this will work. Improvise. Okay, there's that. Now let's go for these things. Yeah, vinegar and dish soap, everybody, does wonders. Now here's, well, for those like Alex, you probably wouldn't know this since you don't know anything about Floyd's. What a lot of people do that mess up in the beginning is they'll take all 6 of these saddles off. Now, they're marked, so that's either a D or G. It's number 3. So there's 1, 2, and 3. So it's 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. But people that don't know that will just put them on there any which way, and they can't figure out why the hell their string action's all screwed up. And that's exactly why. But now you can buy brand new saddles from Floyd that is set to the radius of your neck. Which I would love to order a set of 16s. Radius set 16 in black for the Sunburn Charvel. But someday I'll get them. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 6. All right, we're good there, right? My wife washes all the towels she puts vinegar in with the towels every time. And she keeps buying these big gallons of white vinegar. And then she'll come downstairs after a week. So, I don't remember. Are you using the vinegar in the wash? No, I'm not lying to her. I'm not using it in the wash. So let's spray it with this. This stuff here is also great for cleaning stuff. And this is what I use when I wipe down getting ready to spray paint or clear. Stuff works wonders. One thing I didn't bring back in here was the little compressor. Let me do this. And see, this is what fails on these specials. Is this right here. Put that just a little bit tighter than it should be, and it'll strip the whole threads out because these are like zinc. But people falsely say that these are no good. Now, is it as good as the German one? No. But is it as bad as they say it is? No. This is the problem on the specials, the saddles, not the bridge. Or not the bridge plate, I should say. Like I said, my son-in-law beats the hell out of his Floyd special on that black and white Crackle Kelly I did for him, to the point where he's bent the bar and it still stays in tune perfectly. Damn it. Doing good. Got all the rust out of the threads. A bit of oil. Again, Extreme Duty Lucas gun oil. Best you can get for this stuff. There you go, Michael. Yeah, I redid Michael's too for his Night Swan. All right. We're good there. Where's the number 1? Where's the other number one? Okay, here's both number ones, both E strings. Remember, the low E had the rust in it. Now gone. Vinegar and dish soap, telling you, works wonders. So I just scrub them off a little bit with that spray, whatever the hell it's called, just to get the gunk. And then I'll go over it with the wax real quick. Gets everything off of it. Yeah, look how these clean. These were black and rusty. It got a lot of the black off of them too. Yeah, when it comes to a Floyd, when it comes to cleaning and oiling, a little goes a long way. Because I'm telling you right now, if you load that screw up with oil and shove it in there, screw it in, it's going to seep around the block, and then your string's never going to stay in place. Well, I kind of learned, Billy, I had to learn because, you know, I got it right when they first came out. And I put one on one of my Charvels. And I had no idea how to work on them. The store I ordered it from, they had no idea how to work on it. So I had no choice. I had to figure it out myself because I didn't have anybody around here. I didn't have anybody around here to do it for me. So for literally over 40 years, I've been messing with Floyd Roses. I even have a couple guitars that I've made some improvements to their nuts, the Floyd Rose nuts. But I don't tell any, I don't show it to anybody because I don't have a patent. But if Floyd would call me, say, hey, let's talk. Yeah, I got it, and me and the guy at the store put it on the guitar, and he's like, well, okay. I'm like, what do you mean, okay? He's like, that's it. That's it. He goes, I don't know. Let's just say it didn't stay in tune for that first day. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. So I had to learn how to set it up and do it.
But I freaking love Floyd Rose's.
Then it is my favorite tremolo. Because again, set up right, there's no issues. And if you are worried about breaking the string, now you can buy that thing called a tremorly. And you can put it in, like on my Bones guitar, I have one in there, and it's 2 springs. Then I put the tremolo in the middle, and it does not work as a spring. It's not like a 3rd spring, but it takes it to where a lot of times, now this is someone getting really, but when you're on a tremolo, on a Floyd, and you do a bend, and you hit, you do the bend, but you need to hit another string too, the other string is going to sound out because you're bending one string on the Floyd, which changes the whole dynamics. Now, again, that's someone like, someone who's really, 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 really talented and can, knows that, and it bothers them. But that's just the design. There's nothing can be done about it as far as that goes. But if you add the tremorly, it eliminates that. And you can break a string and the rest of the strings stay in tune. The only thing you can't do with it is a flutter. Once you put a tremorly on, you don't do the flutter. It won't allow it to do it anymore. So, what's more important is if string breaks, you stay in tune, or be able to do a flutter. I'll show you that here in a minute. I'll grab Bones. All right. Put this in the sink. So when I bought it, I think it was $95. I don't know what they are now. Right there. Tremorly. I know it looks like it's a spring, but it's not. And once you have the tremolo set, you tighten that wheel up right there. And that, if I was to break a string, the rest of them would stay in tune. You do a bend. Listen, the other string does not go out of tune. Tremolo takes care of all that. You just can't do a flutter anymore. It won't let it do a flutter. Look how flat this neck is. I mean, that's literally flat. That's how I wanted it. There's no shape on the back. It's dead flat. not set to float. Ugh, Peggy, you're only using half of it then. Six of that. Always upgrade to stainless. At least. All right. So since I will eventually be swapping this out, I'm not going to put Loctite on it. It's just a dab anyhow. So you take that shim away and this goes right against that. Oh, damn it. I don't know what time the show Johnny's at's over. I was kind of hoping if we were still here, he'd come back in the chat. But he probably got to go talk to Andy, and they're probably out somewhere eating. All right. Where okay. Oh, there they are. Same way, I'm losing my mind. Yeah, I was even kind of, and I'm being completely honest, I was kind of leery of going live at all at any time because I didn't want Johnny to think I was trying to do my own thing. Like, you know, well, I guess, I don't know what happened with him and the other guys, everything, but so it's not like I'm doing a exclusively Randy Road show or if you know, when I go live, this is all it's going to be, me at the bench working on something, and you guys are more than welcome to come and have. So when you tighten this, lay it down this way and shove here, that forces that block forward, which is where it's going to be with the spring tension. So it just kind of helps it. Because you don't want to have these in here somewhat tight. Set it all up and then have the block move a little bit because it wasn't set properly. So there you go. That shim is gone. So as thick as that shim was, the screw would go down that much more, which makes it even a little bit better. All right. And then we kind of preset the intonation on here. And 9 times out of 10, this is how you have to put the screws in to get that done. It's 2 1 1 2 1 1. And I'll show you in a minute here. Second hole back, 2 1 1 2 1 1. You can see from that kind of presets your intonation. I've had some where I've done this and then checked it and it was dead on. I've had some where I've had to move them just a little bit. But anybody that works on these long enough learns all these tricks. Okay, so that's 2. There's 3 holes. So it's 2 1 1 2 1 1. And then you make sure you get these in order. 1. There's 1. 3 and 3. 2 2 1. So when you look at the bottom, it'll either have numbers, dots, or lines. So it'll be 1 2 3 3 2 1. These are your 2 lowest. The middle ones are your 2 highest. These are in between. But like I said, now you can get them pre-made where it's set to what your neck radius is. So here's the first one. You got 1 line. It'll go in and it'll go all the way up against that screw. Don't tighten it down completely. We want it to wiggle just a little bit. Okay. Then the next one, we're going to go to number 3 first. Or it's next. So, and then you put it, the edge of the saddle right here will go to the very edge of the base plate. At least the edge, if not hanging over just a hair. I'll show you here in a second. Okay. So your low E, the saddle's all the way. So if you get them in the wrong location, that's what screws people up. They're like, why won't this? So the second one goes actually in between spacing of these 2. So you got 1 all the way up against the base, 1 all the way at the edge, and then you split the difference with the A string. So you get that pattern there. Low, middle, and to the edge. Then just repeat it here. Low, middle, to the edge. And that'll get you really, really close, if not perfect, on your intonation. And so far, the only oil I've put on this was just on the fine tuners. Now, if I was putting a bigger brass block, like a 37, fat brass block, I would use just a dab of blue Loctite, not the red, the blue. Come back over here to number the high E and put it at the edge again, at the edge of the base, or just past it. That's usually where it ends up, either just past it or exactly on it. And then come here and split the difference between those two. So that's what you end up with. Now, take these stainless saddles, put them in. Obviously with the indentation, bottom back. No oil in the saddle. I call it the cavity, saddle cavity, but so no oil in there whatsoever. And then I'll take this and I'll put just a dab and just smear it like that on the threads and on that where it rides inside that little cavity. It doesn't take. I'll put your screws all the way up too for now. And then put that in there. So there's not enough oil to creep around and mess with the string, but there's oil to let it glide inside that drilled out cavity just enough without it sticking. Just a little bit on the threads, chase it around, put it in. And with the stainless, you don't have to worry about it rusting. Come on. And you don't have to worry about any rust or galling. This is, again, where I said little is enough. You don't want to put too much because too much oil will screw everything up. I'm just snugging them up. So then we put this back in. Cap, and I would put a little bit of blue Loctite on that too, but I don't think I have blue right now. I got red. That's also a 3mm. 3mm. Snug this one up though, tight. Then you take the oil, put a little bit on the outside, and just do like a circle on the inside with it. for the arm. And Alex, you didn't send an arm with that, I don't think. But fortunately, I have them. And what will happen is that helps that spin in there. Run it around a couple times, get the oil around it, and then tighten it up. Oh, it's okay. I didn't look through that. Okay. So again, I've already oiled these. So come down not quite halfway. Because another thing, like you'll notice this when you get yours back, and I actually take the time to do this, because a lot of people, they tell you set it halfway, set the screws halfway, and that's right. But I don't have to. Well, I don't go quite halfway. I leave it up a little higher, and what I'll do is get it on the guitar and tune it up and not touch these. And then I'll make sure it's tuned. Then I'll lock them down, and then you have to adjust these a little bit to get it tuned. So, excuse me. So I'll get them to where they're adjusted and the guitar's in tune. You won't have them, because I've seen them like this, after they put new strings on and lock the nut, and they end up like that, and you don't have, obviously down here you'll run out. And when you put new strings on, they're going to stretch. So basically you got to be able to go tighten them down instead of up. So I leave them up a little bit above half and take the time to mess with the tuners and get it in tune. And then you have all to adjust it. So if you look at pretty much, let's see, look at the Predator one. See if it makes me a liar. Nope. So we're in tune. And look, they're all above halfway. So when it starts stretching, you can move them there. It can be done, but people won't take the time to do it. And Billy Ray, the Schecter will have that adjustment also when you get it. So there you go, everybody. Here's another special that can go in the box now to go on some other person's guitars. It might give them the gift of music. Why, Alex, you get this one. You see the difference in the blocks? So yeah, if you take your time with it, man, you can get it set like that where you have the same amount of fine tuner space across the whole board. So there. That'll go in the ready box for the next project for somebody. And this one goes with Alex. So there you go. You just watched me do the whole trick to the Floyd. Now the only other oil is once you get it on the guitar, you put a little drop right there. Right there. And then with that oil there, especially this stuff, this Lucas Extreme Duty gun oil, because it's pretty much stays where you put it. It'll go around and stay there. And then you can adjust it a little bit as needed under tension without destroying it. But don't ever do it with nothing there, with it completely dry, because that will kill it quicker than anything. I mean, I don't have to have oil on here now. It's going to sit in the thing for the next giveaway guitar. But yep, there you go. Upgraded, stainless, no shim, Stays in tune. There we go. Yeah, it needs, yeah, I'd like to get at least, 37. Now, here's what's funny. People are like, oh, brass block. This block is brass, believe it or not. It's just coated. That's why everybody says, oh, no, the Floyd Rose Special plate sucks. It's not heat treated. If it wasn't heat treated, it wouldn't work at all. Now, is treated as a 1000 or the German one? Probably not, because they got it on a special base. So don't let them tell you, oh, no, it ain't going to work, because they will. So, provided tomorrow I can spray the clear, I'll clear CC's, clear Alex's, and paint Rich's white. These, but I don't really use them in case someone needs them. So if anybody needs any blocks or saddles, saddle blocks and the block screws and the saddle screws, let me know. I got drawers of these. I put at least stainless in everything. Sometimes titanium, but titanium's kind of expensive. And again, where I'm retired, I can't do that like I used to. But stainless is a perfectly good option. Yeah, I wish someone like, Floyd. I wish Floyd would like hire me or consult with me sometime, or Adam at FU Tone even, because I do have some ideas. After years of all this, I know a few things. So, put this stuff away. Can't leave it out. Can't leave it messy. Sorry. Just not in my blood. Again, nothing wrong with that. If that's how you are. It just doesn't work for me. I used to buy these all the time off Amazon, and I get a bag of them at Harbor Freight now with all different sizes for a better price. So Alex, other than the clear on your guitar, it's just clear it and put it together, and it can be on its way back to you. Or any tremolo system for that matter. Lucas Extreme Duty Gunwale. MPN bought one. I don't know how much, $6, something like that. I don't know. Lucas used to be a sponsor of mine when I was shooting. And I had cases of that. But over the case of 10 years, or over the time of 10 years, I'm down to just a couple now. Still the best $13 I ever spent. thing works great. Light. Yeah, Michael, I did. Hold on, let me put it back up here. It's not a full onset splatter. Alex had a picture of something like he wanted, and I didn't want to copy it exactly. So I kind of went in between, a little bit more than the picture showed, but not as much as I could have done. So there you go. That'll be with this trim. These. Yeah, because I had that blood line there, and I wanted to get it on here too to match it. So it'll be, of course, I can't get it in there like that. So it all fits, with the cable in the way. But there you go. And also, if you work with any tremolo system with a spring, I think these are like $12 from FU-Tone. You got to have that. My God, that makes it so much nicer. With black knobs, we've determined that. So it'll look like that, but it will be this shiny, Alex. So there you go. It's going to sound so much better. It's going to play so much better. You're going to be able to do bends on the frets like you've never been able. The frets look like brand new stainless ones. Sorry, I can't play Amaranth. I don't know how to do any of that stuff. I used to be, when this was all the rage in the late 80s and 90s, I was into it then and took classes and was able to do the DOS programming and all that shit. Then everything got haywire and I never stayed with it. So any other questions? Yeah, I remember writing the programs and you'd make one damn mistake, like a colon instead of a semicolon, and it didn't tell you where it happened at. You have to rewrite the whole damn program again. Man, that sucked. Unfortunately, Ian, yes, I do. Although I'm literally 10 minutes from West Virginia and 25 minutes from Pennsylvania. And no, I don't live in San Francisco before anybody asks. Yeah, I mean, I could have I could have put a handprint right here on it, or that kind of stuff. What he showed me just had a little bit on it, and when I did just a couple things, I thought, man, this body's too big for just that, so I got to add a little bit more. But I didn't go all hog wild on it. There you go, Michael B. Yep. Are you talking about Purgatory? Purgatory is about 50 minutes from me and about 15 minutes away from Skyprop. Permane Brothers is 20 minutes away from me. Quaker Steak and Lube is 20 minutes from me. But Purgatory, damn, that's a good burger. Yeah, that Purgatory and the Guitar Center, the nearest Guitar Center to me, little less, less than an hour. Depending on traffic, under an hour, usually 45 to 50 minutes. That's right, James. Yeah, I think I can show you. If you look at a map, I keep telling her, everybody's like, oh, Ohio's not in the Appalachian Mountain or Smoky Mountains. The hell it ain't. All Virginia is the Smoky Mountains. Let me see if I still have that. Yeah, okay. The dark color is the Smoky Mountains. Right there. And right here. So I'm right there, Ohio, West Virginia, Pennsylvania. But I am in the Smoky Mountains. I am about 2 hours from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Ian. That's where, if you watch Johnny's show, that's where I met Rich. Yeah, I'm Steelers, Penguins. Well, I'm not so much into hockey, but I do like the Penguins. I don't care. I'm not a baseball fan per se, but I just wish they would get new owners that would actually do something with them. But I am a diehard Steeler fan. And right after the strike in the 80s, I tried out for them. So black and gold's in my blood. But I'm away from the stadium. So but I love the Pittsburgh area. They have Permante's. Permante's was born on the Strip in downtown Pittsburgh. And it's the sandwich that has the coleslaw, the fries, everything stacked on the bread in the sandwich. And it came about, they started in 1933, same years the Steelers became Steelers. And they had just a little place, and they started getting so popular. The truck drivers coming to get their lunch and stuff. So to make it quicker, they just piled everything on one sandwich, and it stuck. And it's the Permanis Brothers sandwich. And that's it. They're out of Pittsburgh. There's one 20 minutes from me over in West Virginia. They got some now in Dayton, Ohio. They have some down in Florida now, so they're starting to branch out. But Burgatory is still only in Pennsylvania. Raider Nation. Well, Billy Ray, I guess you got to like somebody if you're not a Steelers fan. But I get asked all the time, how come you're not a Cleveland Browns fan or a Cincinnati? I said, have you seen the Browns or the Bengals? Oh, yeah. If you ever, wait a minute. I keep forgetting. Hold on. Oh, here's my dad when we filmed Gung Ho. My dad, it was filmed, part of it was filmed at the plant my dad and I worked at. And this was Dad and Michael Keaton, and my dad was also mayor at the time. And then there's him and Ron Howard, Opie Taylor, Richie Cunningham. I don't think he got a picture with Norm. Another one with him with Ron Howard. Yeah, he was mayor of the town then. Let's see. There's my Miss Diva. This is the shepherd I had before Ava. She was on, her picture was featured on some dog toy boxes, containers. Mm-hmm. I don't do any podcasts, so it's not like I got to keep talking. So, I don't know how to do any of that stuff. I'm lucky to do this, and I only do this when there's no show with Johnny, because I don't want him to get the idea that I'm trying to do my own thing here, like the other guys did behind his back or whatever hell they did. That's why I'm inviting him. If he wants to show up, back up, he's more welcome to come on. I'll even make him a moderator. Let's see. Damn it. Hold on. Oh, this is what Rich's guitar is going to look like. That was when him and I was at the Hall of Fame. Rich, myself, and his wife. And I tell you what, there you go, Peggy. Permanis. It's all the meat, the fries, the coleslaw, everything, all on the bun or on the bread. And the bread is an inch thick, each slice. You see how big my hands are. So, and then there's Yeah. Then I cut it in half here. That's Primantes, and that is the Dawn, the big Dawn. Let's see. Yeah, you wonder here. You guys wonder why my hand I can't play like I used to. Here's two reasons right there. There's one. And there's one. Here is that's Quaker State. This was a good day at the range. Quartered bass player, and he recorded some tracks down for some of my. And he'd never been to Primantes, and I took him there, and he got. And Burgatory custom creation. Look right there. No pink. And that's what I add to it. And then, and look, so it comes out, they'll yell, Randy Rhoads. Okay. All right. So there's like 3 people watching now. Yeah, well, now we're down to 3 people again. Sorry, Firefox crashed. I didn't even know it. So you didn't hear none of that other stuff then, did you? Oh, well. I played short. And why are we not? What the hell is going on?
Hey Chad, what's up? James from Blackville Brides here. I just want to say thanks so much for turning me on to the band Faith of Failure. I'm really impressed. I just checked out Troubled Times on YouTube and I looked at comments and like I said, super impressed. I can hear some of our influence there. And not only our influence, but in the guitar solo, I heard some Randy Rhoads, who was my favorite guitar player, and it sounded like a little bit of influence from the Mr. Crowley solo. My favorite solo out of Wizard of Oz, one of my favorite solos from Randy Rhoads. I don't know if that was the intent or whatever, but I heard that there and I thought it was incredibly cool. A little truly diminished scale there. Super cool. Cole is an awesome guitarist, and all my respects. So glad to hear when we've influenced other musicians to not start a band, but to hear even our influence in their music. And I look forward to watching their rise because I know they're going to do really well. And maybe one day we'll tour together. That would be awesome. So Super stoked. Chad, thanks again for turning me on to them, and I wish Faith and Failure all the best of luck. All right, take care. Hey, Chad.
Hey, did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear that? Okay, hold on. And then here is Jack Osborne. Obviously, this was before all of you died.
Hey, what's going on, Chad? So, I reached out about the Brandon Rose, who is my guitar player.
Why is that one going good?
Mr. Carly's.
Oh,
Hey, Chad, what's up? James from Blackville.
never mind. I know what's going on. That's from the video. All right. Trying to get to where it's blocked. All right, hold on. All right, here is Eddie Trunk.
Hey guys, Eddie Trunk here, and I just had a chance to check out your music. I listened to the track "Lost Down in the Darkness." Thought it was really cool. Some great musicianship. Production was really cool. Drumming was really ripping. Very cool melodic solo, and obviously you got a dual vocal thing going on there with the clean vocal and the more rough vocal or dirty vocal. I don't know what the exact term is for that, but you probably do. But it's cool. There's some melody, but it's progressive. It's heavy. You know, I like stuff like that. I like stuff that is heavy and great playing, but also has to have that melody for me, at least me personally. And you definitely have the melody working in there as well. Kind of like a Dream Theater, kind of heavier vibe than them, maybe. So I really liked what you were doing. Wish you the best of luck, and I'll keep an eye out for your band, Faith and Failure. And
So there's that. And I'm hoping you can still hear me, but here is my buddy Dave eating his Permane sandwich time ever. And again, he's from down south, so I came this for you. Here's the sandwich.
Hands down, best sandwich I ever had. So there's something on this sandwich.
Again, I apologize for that crashing. I didn't know that it had crashed. DiMaggio. Oh, there you go. Yeah. I'm telling you, there's nothing better than Seymour Duncan. So we're over 4 hours here. And it's 1:40 in the morning. So I'm going to call it quits. But I thank each and every one of you that were here hanging out and watching. And I was kind of hoping Johnny would pop back in after the show, but they're probably out eating or somewhere. So, anyhow, again, thank you, everybody. I greatly appreciate it. I love chatting with you guys. So, I will see you on the next show with Johnny. So, thank you again, everybody. as Ronnie James Dio would say, you're all the biggest stars in the world. So, everybody.